Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah, and today I have another tutorial or tip video for you. Anyone who wears wigs that are longer than just chin length knows longer wigs tangle and get knotted every time you wear them. And if you don't do anything about it, you can probably throw them away after 20 or 30 wears or so. But is there anything you can do about it? If you want to know what you can do to prevent tangling, then just stay tuned and let's get started. Who hasn't experienced this? You have a great new long wig, whether it's just shoulder length or longer, and after just the first wear, the bottom hairs on the back of your neck are all tangled up. Especially in winter when you wear high-necked clothes, scarves, or also necklaces, and so on. In the summer or when you wear something backless, it doesn't happen so extremely because there is hardly any friction between the hair and the clothes, of course. But why does this only happen with synthetic wigs or inexpensive human hair wigs? Well, this is due to the nature of our human hair. Our hair has a so-called cuticle, which always runs in the same direction. And in addition, every person constantly loses hair, and new ones grow back, of course, unless you are suffering from alopecia, which means hair loss. So, therefore, our hair is never the same length. It always has shorter hairs in between in various lengths. On the cheaper human hair wigs, the hairs are collected from different people, colors are mixed, etc. And when these wigs are produced, they do not pay attention to the direction of hair growth. Thus, the cuticle of the hair runs partly opposite, and the hairs rub against each other and tangle even if you hardly move at all. Only with the expensive human hair wigs that are called Remy human hair, this doesn't happen that much or hardly at all, as with your bio hair, because then all the hair usually comes from one single braid and all have the same direction of growth. And of course, this has to be attended to in the complete process of wig making, and makes wigs accordingly more expensive, and thus you have hardly any tangling, or at least much less, as with your own bio hair. But what can you do about it that your synthetic wigs and cheaper human hair wigs do not tangle as much? There are several tricks you can try. Basically, you should wash your hair as little as possible. If you are told in wig stores that you should wash your wig after every third, fourth, fifth, or eighth time you wear it, this is nonsense, and at most only serves to make you have to buy another one soon. If you don't sweat extremely several times in a row and the wig starts to smell bad or something, then you don't have to wash it. I rarely wash my wigs, but I also have quite a large collection and change the style on a daily basis. But if you only have one or two or a few wigs, you may have to wash them more often, of course. I think that you notice when it becomes necessary to wash a wig. When the fibers stick together and when they don't move as nicely as when it's new, or when you have a lot of product like hairspray or some styling cream or something in it. Otherwise, I'd say it's enough to wash your wig after maybe 20 to 30 times of wearing it. Because when you wash it, the silicone layer that they are coated with to protect the fibers and make them smooth and prevent them from tangling also comes out with washing, and the fibers or hairs are much rougher and more sensitive and also tangle faster. So what you should do after washing, in any case, is to coat the fibers again with some silicone in the area that rests on the shoulders or from the neck down. Now, for once there is pure silicone, for example, the silicone spray from Simply Styling, but this is quite pricey and you have to pay attention not to use too much of that because then the hair looks really greasy and oily and not so good. If you use the Simply Styling, just spray a little in the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, and then just go on the underside of your hair, the side that lays on your back, and just scrunch it and pat it in from underneath. So it doesn't shine as much as if you cover all the fibers. But you can also use a budget-friendly anti-frizz product from the drugstore, which works just as well. These also contain silicone, make the fibers soft again, and thus they tangle much less. I will link you these products below in the description box. Now, another step would be that you thin out the hair with thinning scissors and just the bottom layer, which is rubbing on your back and your clothes. I'm going to show you this on a longer style by Ellen Bille called Code Mono. And this one is actually quite tricky because it's a very low density style with very little hair. So there you have to be especially careful not to cut off too much. But with any other style that has more hair, it's easier and you don't have to pay that much attention. It's important to do this in several steps, about 3 to 4 cuts per strand down. Now, I would put the wig on the back and just take one strand of the lower hair, the under layer that lays on your back, and comb it through and then cut it in even sections from top to bottom, depending on the length, about 3, 4, or if it's a very long style, 5 cuts. Of course, only with thinning shears and not with regular shears, otherwise you have a different problem. Now, this imitates the natural hair growth. The hairs have more distance to each other and also tangle much less. And lastly, what you always should do after each wear is detangle. For this, I recommend the Jon Renau Detangler, which is a really great product and works perfectly. And you can spray this directly onto the fibers, of course also on the inner side that is tangled. And then you take any white tooth comb, like this one by Jon Renau, but any other white tooth comb will do. And you carefully start combing from the bottom up, always downwards, of course, until the fibers are completely untangled again and there is no more knotting. Then you put the wig on a wig stand or hang it up and let it dry, and this way it will be ready for use again in the next morning. At least that's what I always do with my longer hair, and this works just great. Now, if you follow these steps, you should have much less trouble with tangling in the future and enjoy your long hair wig much longer. If you liked this video and it was helpful, and you haven't done so yet, then please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my future videos, and there's a new one coming out each Friday. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. And also, if you have other tips that I don't know of or haven't mentioned here, then please add them as well and tell me what you do to keep your wigs from tangling, and maybe I will make a follow-up video. Also, please comment if you have tried it and how it works for you. I'm really curious how your experience has been. Now, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you are well. Stay that way, and I'll see you again soon in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Thus, the cuticle of the hair runs partly opposite, and the hairs rub against, and the and of course on your back, and just crunch it and I will link you these products below in the info box. And enjoy your long hair, and enjoy your long hair wig, and enjoy your long hair wig much longer.